Purple Orange wishes to advise the following video contains footage of Alicia Hill, who passed away in 2020.
So graceful.
And we'll do your sound check.
Sound level.
Demystifying diverse communication.
I am profoundly deaf. I have a profound hearing loss.
I'm learning English.
I have a cerebral palsy.
I was born deaf, and throughout life I started losing my eyesight, and it also impacts my balance.
I'm fully blind on this side. I got a little bit of vision on my left, and I'm completely deaf on my right side, and I got a little bit of hearing in my left ear.
I use my communication device, known as an AAC device, because my speech can be difficult to understand. I use it rarely at home with support workers and friends. Yet, I always take my AAC device with me when I go out, because it is more likely that I will meet new people who I might want to talk to.
What are your frustrations?
But my family is may actually understand me. If I ask someone what the time, maybe I know they're not understanding me. It means people are not interested in anything I have to say.
People often assume that my hearing or intellect is affected because of my difficult to understand speech. Thus they either raise their voices to speak to me or speak to me as a child. Neither are the case. I have good hearing and can hold a good conversation if people allow the time to listen.
When I'm with a support person, who I call a communication guide, I go into a shop and I will ask them a question. They will talk to my communication guide. They won't talk to me. Even though I'm the customer, I'm the one asking the questions, and that is really, really frustrating.
Do you know how many try to talk to me standing to the side, slightly behind me, and expecting to have a conversation with me? I take it that it is easier to see what I am typing on my device, but it does nothing for my neck. Yet, it is funny, because as I turn my wheelchair to see their face, they move back to the same position as before. If I let it happen, we end up going around literally in circles for the whole conversation. So, they should let me see their face as we're talking.
Sometimes it is very isolating for a deaf person in a room full of hearing people, because it is very, very difficult for us to keep up with the conversations that are taking place and trying to lip read everyone in that conversation space.
When I can't speak English, Australian people can't connect with me. It's very big problem for me. It's a wall for around me when I can't speak English. My teacher told me, you try to find Australian friend, but I can't find.
For a hearing person that may not know anything about someone that is deaf-blind or anything about disability, they can very easily be quite discriminatory about someone who is deaf-blind. Some people just don't take any notice.
So, would you like more people to try to connect with you and communicate with you?
Absolutely.
How can people better communicate with you?
Some of the advice I would give is to say their name, especially if we're in a group situation. If Sarah's talking, to say, Sarah's speaking, and then continue.
I think he should talk slowly, very clearly. Not loudly though, that won't work.
Is touch, so you touch me on the shoulder, and then continue with what you want to say.
So I can see a little bit. I do have my font enlarged on my iPad, and it needs to have a black background and white font. When my iPad is set up like that, if I take my time and read slowly enough, I can read. If I met someone that I was unfamiliar with and they didn't know any Auslan or haptics, I would grab out my iPad and use that to communicate. So I can write on my iPad and communicate back and forth with that person. That then gets deleted. They can write their response and I can read it.
My message for Australian people: when me and other people like me say good morning, hi, how are you? Australian people can stop and conversation with me.
If you can't find me or anyone with happen, it's okay to ask us to repeat that.
Like many people who use AAC devices, I have developed a range of techniques to assist people to understand what I am saying and to put them at ease. For example, on meeting people who have no experience talking with people like me, along with using my device, I tend to talk with short common sentences to build up their confidence. This gives them opportunities to succeed, so they are more likely to continue to interact with me.
Demystifying diverse communication.
People with communication disabilities have to feel comfortable to be in work because we are here and we deserve to do whatever we want in our lives.
Please don't feel nervous because deaf people are just like them, just like everyone. It is just that they can't hear, that's all. So we can still communicate, we can still work, we can still do, lots and lots of things. And you can mime, you can find a different way to communicate.
I would like people to know that, by spending time with me, they would find out that I'm a fun-loving guy who enjoys drinking wine, viewing art, listening to all types of music and traveling Australia and overseas. They would also find out that my disability is a part of who I am, but I don't let it rule things I do.
Even though I'm deaf-blind, I do have what I consider a normal life. I do go out with friends, go shopping. I have a great job as a community development worker, and I'm able to do these things because I had the supports that I need.
I'm a very independent person. I'm able to look after myself domestically in the home. I can use my computer, I can read. Sometimes I get bored at home, so I will go out for a walk and do some exercise. Might come home, then have a coffee, or I might go out and order a latte. So yeah, I'm quite a happy man.
I can say very thank you for you you sit and listen my speaking. Thank you so much.
Don't let diverse communication stop connection.